Starfield is just around the corner and the hype is immeasurable about the game, especially around its potential limitless exploration and traveling that Bethesda games like Fallout or the Elder Scrolls games have been very much known for. But Starfield is going above and beyond with its planetary exploration, with having over 1,000 planets to discover in it, according to Todd Howard, and naturally this statement raised a lot of eyebrows and generated tons of discourse around this topic, especially with the recent gameplay leaks and rumors that are floating around the internet in the last few days, asking what is actually going on then. So let's talk about it and find out together. Now, to fully understand or at least get a good grasp of how Starfield exploration is going to work, we have to dive a little bit deeper into game design and also listen to some of the statements made by developers who actually explain most of this in a very clear way. The very first trigger term that people are reacting to recently is procedurally generated planets, which in very simple words basically means that planets and most areas in Starfield are not going to be manually created. That would almost be impossible with the scope of the game, and also potentially not very useful, since nowadays, while I personally very much appreciate handcrafted worlds, I think a lot of us tend to rush through areas or skip on appreciating details in games as you get used to the environment. Instead, what procedurally generated means is that each planet or biome will have several, let's call them, rooms designed by the developers, and an AI will build a planet's landscape based on information gathered from these rooms, and will create a full planet based on the logic and all the information gathered from the examples it was given, and actually create its own unique planet that matches the so-called seed, which is the rule set for a given planet. As a consequence of an AI-generated world, like the video's title suggests, it isn't entirely unreasonable then to ask, won't Starfield get repetitive? But fortunately, while there are bad examples for procedurally generated worlds, in this case this is actually a good thing, as instead of a map repeating the same landscape and formations over and over again, where you recognize those very same caves, instead each planet will be uniquely crafted just by a computer and not a person. Think of it like the worlds you generate in Minecraft. Todd Howard also explained they have a special planetary point of interest system planned that will keep all important planets interesting, and I do say important since not every single planet of the 1,000 is going to be interesting, and that is fine and intended. Just like real life, most planets are lifeless rocks with a hostile environment, so part of the journey in Starfield is also going to be finding the ones with life and activity on them, while we can use the rest for mining and other gameplay mechanics. Instead, like the room example for the AI, the development team of Starfield also designed specific areas, caves, and cities or other important locations specific to planets or events that you will encounter, and just like the AI generates planets based on the rules they were given, the AI will also place these very much handcrafted and uniquely crafted locations that developers want you to find somewhere hidden around your landing spot, and this way, while each planet is going to be procedurally generated, each of them will also feel very special, as there will be unique points of interest you cannot find anywhere else, and will leave you a memorable experience about each of the planets, while also having breathtaking AI-generated massive landscapes. So despite all of this, the recent leaks around the game have also caused a bit of drama among the player base, as there are rumors that there will be boundaries when you walk around planets too far away from your landing spot with your airship. And please note that these boundaries are apparently 30 minutes of just sprinting in either direction without stopping to do anything else. So they're quite large spaces. Still, players are feeling a bit cheated from the experience of exploring a whole planet, but I don't think it's that simple, and people might be overreacting a bit on this one. To me at least, it sounds realistic and relatively normal that if you land on a planet, you might not want to leave your airship too far behind, so having these so-called barriers, while somewhat immersion breaking, is logical to me. But even if we discard the logical explanation for this and investigate it from a game design point of view, what all of this means is that you can just land on any area on a planet, and yes, when you land, a large location around your ship will be generated that you can explore, and if you're done there, you can just land in another spot on the very same planet and continue your journey with potentially even new points of interest you've never seen before, provided if they actually have a system for placing them in very specific places on the planet and they aren't completely randomized. So to bring an Elder Scrolls example over here, the way I understand how Starfield exploration is going to be is imagine the world of Skyrim in front of you with all the caves and events, and now break them into the little zones that exist. Each of these zones are potentially planets in Starfield, just in much larger scope and larger overall world. And as you land on different planets, these caves or your favorite events might appear in a random location on the planet or the zone, but the planets will still look the same for everyone, except they were automatically generated by a computer on very strict and precise instructions called seeds on how a planet should function and look like that will feel refreshing, since the AI will also concentrate on not making two areas feel the same. So the way I imagine it is basically like playing Skyrim, but events, certain caves or outposts will be randomized, and while you might find something at point A, your friend might find something completely different there, despite the area looking the same. And from this perspective, honestly, I'm quite excited and hyped myself up even further from just talking about this, to the point I can't wait to see how the next Elder Scrolls will be if they implement a very similar system. So that is a very quick summary, everyone, of what kind of exploration you can expect in Starfield in a very basic way. Will it be repetitive? I don't think so, but that's also something I think will be subjective and we have yet to see, like how well this system of theirs work. But while in a normal fantasy game I would think this could get weird fast, in a science fiction game with lots of different planets, I could actually see this work very well, because they have a lot more biomes and different terrains they can work with to make it feel a lot more varied. But that's it for this quick video about Starfield, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Hope this video helped you understand a bit more about the game and potentially make you more excited for it. If you did enjoy the video, consider to like and subscribe to get more updates from me. But that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you again, and I'll see you all the next time.